phone with a radio interview in Detroit on WWJ. Yeah, y'all know it's a huge monstrous route. The news person interviewing me, talking about our Tea Party express and our rallies and going to Bart Stupak's district, said, well, could this be considered harassment? And I was like, how do I answer a stupid question like that? I said, how could you possibly construe this as harassment? And I said, well, I'm just asking. I'm like, this is the political process, and that's a question like that is part of the problem. How can it be harassment when you take control of your own country? It can't be. You're supposed to. Yeah. Those two words in the Pledge of Allegiance, under God, are incredibly important. They occupy an entire chapter in my book, Taking Back America, One Tea Party at a Time, as does the notion of political correctness as a societal HIV, and boy, have we got a full-blown case of AIDS. We are a human rights movement, folks. The United States Constitution recognizes for the first and only time in human history that the only reason for a government to exist, any government, is for the protection and advancement of individual human rights. That's what we're protecting. Human rights. We're not radicals, we're not racists, we're not a mob, we're not a political party. We are a human rights movement, and human rights will win.
That means we will win. Yes, we do have them running scared. You know, this movement started over a year ago. I know you guys had a big Tax Day Tea Party back here last April 15th. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary. Next week, we'll be in Washington, D.C. for a big Tax Day Tea Party. We started this tour in Harry Reid's hometown. We're going to end it where Harry really lives, in Washington, D.C., right across from his penthouse apartment at the Ritz-Carlton.
Imagine living at the Ritz.
Must be a nice life. And we're all paying for it.
I can't help but thinking of young Frankenstein. There's Harry living in the Ritz.
So, but this coming week is a big week for us because, as you heard Mark mention, we are going after somebody. You know, it's great to have all these rallies across the country and bring people together and, you know, the awareness that we're bringing to the movement, but the real thing is we have to vote some of these bums out. And Bart Stupak not only sold out his constituents, but he sold us out. And I don't know about you guys, but my values and principles are not for sale. So when we started this tour, we had planned to do 3 rallies in Bart Stupak's district because we had hoped that the healthcare legislation had not been passed. But obviously we all know what happened 2 weeks ago. Well, we're not going away regardless of what they think, and we've added 2 more stops. So this weekend we're doing 5 stops in his congressional district and 8 or 9 stops in Michigan. And we've invited Mr. Stupak to come and join us and to interact with his constituents and to hear what they have to say, but you know what? We haven't received a reply back to that invitation.
And we're going to roll through the big blue states like Michigan, New York, my home state of Massachusetts. We're going to find all the conservatives and Americans who are in hiding in those liberal dynasties and tell them, come out, wherever you are. It's okay to be an American. We're in a battle for the soul of America. We will win.
Hey Mark, there's a new sign over here I've never seen before. Joe's right, this is a BFD. Big federal disaster.
Don't we know?
And it's up to the people to bring the disaster relief to Washington. Each and every one of you. You guys, you are making a difference. You're having an impact. You have to stay engaged, be encouraged. And in November, we are going to vote those bums out. And when you go to the polls and vote, you need to vote on principles and values and not according to the letter next to somebody's name.
And one of the ways we're all getting together, aside from getting together physically, is today's version of the shortwave radio like the French Underground had. It's called the new media, the World Wide Web, the internet, social networking, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever these fakakta
You know what
are.
you are if you use YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook?
Oh dear. What?
You twit-faced.
We have one of the kings of the twit-facedom. Or the queens thereof. from National Director for ResistNet, a Grassfire website, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Darla Daywall.
How are we doing today, Iowa? Yeah! What a beautiful setting. How many of you here have ever heard of Grassfire? I thought only one person there for a second. How many of you have heard of ResistNet? Who here is from ResistNet? Let's hear a big shout out. We need a few more. www.resistnet.com. We were one of the first social networks for the conservative movement. In 2008, December, we started that movement, just prior to the whole Tea Party craze. Since that time, we've added over 75,000 patriots to our site. We've been able to respond very quickly and have things go viral very rapidly because we are a very large pipeline in the movement. So if you are a small pipe and you're not